Hey everyone, welcome back to the layout once again. Just like we had last time, we're actually going to work on another lift out section. So we've actually done a little preparation already. Basically what's going to happen here is we have the track that will kind of be skirting along the wall there. We'll just kind of slightly curve this way, and then we'll have a lift out bridge. Actually, it's going to be a drop bridge that comes across here. So we've actually, out of a 2x4, made just a really shallow wedge here to mount to this section, since the drop bridge needs to go kind of at an angle that way. Instead of having the drop bridge drop at an angle so that when it's folded it's kind of like that, we decided why don't we make it in a 90-degree angle. It'll just fold right down and it'll be pointing that way due to this wedge. And then over here what we've done is mounted this piece on the front, and the reason for that is we actually needed a little more depth than we had with this this original 1x2 piece that's here, since what we're going to have is, it's kind of difficult to show, but we have this locking mechanism. So this will be mounted underneath, and you can see this is a little deeper than just 1x2, so we mounted one to the front. This will go right under here. This will be able to fold up, and then on our drop bridge we'll have this underneath, that you'll be able to turn, and this will lock. Kind of get the idea. So lock in there when you turn it, and then that'll prevent the bridge from falling down. So that's what we're working on right now. We've done a little prep work already, but we're going to go ahead and just use a 2x4 section as the actual bridge span across here. So we're going to go ahead and cut that roughly, and then we'll kind of fine tune the length, and then we'll mount all the hardware, because on this side we're actually going to use this kind of deal. So this will go, if I'm thinking about this right, yeah, this will just go on the face here, like that, and then our 2x4 bridge piece will be mounted to the long section, and that'll be the hinge. So pretty simple. This is really the only hardware we need, and then we'll talk a little bit about how we're going to do the electrical connection a little bit later on. So this is where we're at right now. I'm going to go find a 2x4 section that'll work across here as the main span for the bridge, and then we'll get started. Alright, so we've just cut the main bridge span from this 2x4 section that we have here, and keep in mind that we've added this wedge on this face here so that the bridge will drop at a 90-degree angle. So it's a 90-degree angle to this face right here, but when it slides up it's actually going to be at an angle, since we haven't created a wedge here, which is no big deal. So that's what we just marked there. We're going to go ahead and make that cut. It should be approximately the right length, and then we'll fine tune with a couple more cuts probably, and then add the hardware, and we should be good with the most part of this construction. Alright guys, so here's the lift out bridge, or actually drop bridge. I keep saying the wrong thing. As you can see, it's in place and it's actually holding itself up. So, excuse me, I walked in the way there, but all the hardware is installed. I'm just going to do a quick demonstration. So you see, you got to reach under here, you unlock the key. And what's great about this, using the kind of key idea, I'll explain this more in depth in just a second, is even if you unlock it, the gate can't fall. So you actually have to unlatch the deal, and then you let it go. Eventually we're going to have a stopper somewhere so it doesn't fall as much. And then here's that latch idea. So let me move in a little closer. I'm going to explain what we've done on both sides of the drop bridge here, and then we'll wrap up. So here's kind of the idea behind the latch over here. So as I showed you earlier, there's this hinged latch deal, and then there's also a piece that kind of has like a turning key. So then right now it's in the locked position. To undo it, you just turn the key, and as I mentioned earlier, it won't fall like this because this latch actually has nowhere to go, and this lip here is actually resting on the closed latch. So it's kind of a security mechanism there. So all you have to do is just kind of lift up here, and that'll fall, and then this thing swings down. And then, oh, sorry about that. So latch again, you just slide that up and then lock. So it's really quick and smooth. and as I mentioned, it has that security mechanism. So you got that there. As you can see, actually let me peel you off here. Sorry about this. We actually put on some cork here. So the latch, you can see, actually is not flush, it's at an angle, and the reason for that is when this key turns, it actually presses down on this, and in a normal situation that would just mean that the bridge would droop, but what we've done is actually kind of raise the square block for the key, raised it off. So we put a slip of cork in there so that this is actually deeper than it needs to be. And we also put a couple little felt pad deals on here to just create more, when this key turns, it actually pushes off of the latch a little more. So that just creates more tension. So that's kind of the idea behind that, and the reason that we put that in there. Because beforehand, without the cork, this drop bridge would actually droop a little bit. So by doing that and creating more tension, more pressure, it locks it in place a little more, and brings it up to track height. And then over here is just a simple hinge design that I showed you earlier. We have the flat plate over here on the permanent frame, and then we have the long skinny piece actually on the drop bridge. And once again, oh, sorry for the shaky video, you can see this is in an angle. We built this wedge, so I won't focus, hold on. So this frame, the main square frame, is perpendicular to the wall, but this drop bridge is actually at an angle, so we built this wedge, and now the drop bridge is at a 90-degree angle to this wedge. So it falls nice and cleanly, but over here it's actually at an angle, so there's a little gap, but that's actually necessary because when the bridge comes up, if you think about it, it's just all angles, so it's very close right there. But it needs to be cut in a little bit so that it'll actually swing up. Otherwise, it would just get stuck. So that's why that little gap's there. But that's no big deal. All right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap up here for today. We're not done. This is part one of building the drop bridge. We still need to come back to this because what we haven't talked about yet is how we're gonna do the wiring through here, and we'll get to that when we do some track laying, and that'll be coming next week. In part two, and the same will be true for the lift out section that I did a video on a day or two ago, since Ryan from BNSF Railfans will be here, and we'll be doing a ton of work on the layout, including track laying, as I just said. So anyway, thank you guys for watching part one of building the drop bridge. We have plenty more progress coming soon, so definitely stay tuned, and I hope to see you next time.